we are going to start in standing in the facing the tall side of the chair. And anyone who's practicing from home, grab a yoga block or a sturdy hardcover book. If you don't have a yoga block, we'll do the trick. But you are going to step on it, so make sure it's not like your precious book. And when you, just to prepare, set it down in front of your tall side of your chair on the low setting. So you want to be able to step your foot onto the block, not right away, but just we want to be able to get there. To start, face the tall side of your chair. Just let your hands or your fingers rest gently on the chair. And then right away, if you can, close your eyes down. We're going to just start to tune in right away. So notice your toes and the balls of your feet. And is your weight slightly forward in the toes of the balls of your feet? And if so, can you lift the soles of your feet? Can you pull back just slightly so that your weight is more evenly distributed? So it's in your heels and in the toes and the balls of your feet. And then you should be able to lift your toes, give them a little wiggle. So mostly you're centered on the ball toe mound, the mound on the outer edge of the pinky, and then the back edge of your heel. And then once you feel like you've found that kind of centered position, just take a moment to take a nice deep breath. And then if you can tune back in down to your feet, but more now to get a sense of the floor beneath you. So notice that solid ground underneath your feet. And then notice the spaciousness around the rest of your body. And then eyes closed or open, just get a sense of the ceiling above you, the walls around you, and offer up a little gratitude for the safe space that you have to work in. Awesome. And then keeping your eyes closed if you can, take your right hand and just bring it right on top of your heart. Keep your left hand on the chair. So we want to just feel that little bit of sense of grounding or that third point of contact. So hand on the heart, hand on the chair, feet solid on the ground. Take a nice full breath in. Breathe deep into the lungs so the belly expands, the ribs expand, and then the collarbones expand. And then as you exhale, see if you can bring the breath down from the collarbones to the ribs to the belly. Inhale a full breath, fill up the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. Exhale from the collarbones to the ribs to the belly. One more breath like that. And then we're going to add a little retention of the breath at the top. So as you inhale, fill your lungs up, think belly, ribs, collarbones, and then hold the breath at the top for a moment. And then as you exhale from the collarbones to the ribs to the belly, let all of your air go. Inhale, belly to the ribs to the collarbones. Hold your breath at the top. And then when you're ready, exhale, collarbones to the ribs to the belly. Take one more breath like that. Exhale when you're ready. And now we're going to release right hand to the chair, left hand to the heart. And now we're going to add on to that breath. So we're going to inhale, fill up the belly, the lungs, the collarbones, hold the breath at the top. And then as you exhale, at the end of the exhale, you retain that empty breath. So take a nice full breath in, breathing into the belly, to the ribs, to the collarbones. Hold your breath at the top. Exhale from the collarbones to the ribs, to the belly. And then once all that air is out, retain that empty breath. And then when you're ready, inhale, fill up the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. Hold the breath at the top. Exhale, collarbones, ribs, belly. With all of that air gone, retain that breath for a moment. One more time. Inhale, fill up the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. Hold the breath at the top. Exhale from the collarbones to the ribs, to the belly. And then once all of that air is gone, retain that exhale. And then when you're ready, take your inhale and then just start to find a nice natural breath here. Let your left hand touch down to the chair. Eyes closed or open, totally up to you, but just give a moment to let your breath come back. And then before we move away from this space, take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Beautiful. Open your eyes and keep your gaze forward. And now we're just going to start by a little bit of shift of the weight side to side. So you're going to shift your weight to your left foot and then to your right foot, just to kind of wake up your feet, wake up your ankles, get a sense of how your feet and your knees are feeling. But we want to keep the gaze forward. So we want to start to tune into our proprioception. So where is your body connected to the space that you're working in? And can you feel your way? It's a real long distance call from your brain down to your feet. So can you feel where you are connected? And now we're going to start to, let's say, transfer your weight over to your left foot. Pick your right foot up and just locate your block and just like lightly tap your foot around your block. Get a sense of where it is, where the edges are, and just maybe even feel the texture of your block, but without looking down at it. And then step your right foot down, shift your weight to your right foot, lift your left leg up, and then tap your left foot around, just feeling around the block, noticing your yoga block or your book if you're working with a book, and then just kind of get a sense of how solid it is. Does it feel a little wobbly? And that information is really great, because if it feels like it's a little wobbly, when you go to step on it, you might be a little bit more mindful. So feel around where that block is, notice its edges, and then when you're ready, step that left foot down, come back to that centered position with both feet on the ground. As you inhale, lift your toes up away from the floor, spread your toes as wide as you can. And then as you exhale, float your toes back down. Inhale, lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can. Exhale and float your toes back down. And do that one more time. Inhale, lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can. Exhale, float your toes down. And now we're going to take it into the heels. As you inhale, lift your heels up away from the floor. Exhale, float your heels back down. A nice, slow, controlled movement. Inhale and lift your heels up, and only go as far as you can control. So if your heels start to buckle in or your ankles get a little sickled, you might be going too far. So maybe you keep it small so you stay in control. One more time. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, float your heels down. And now we're going to walk it back into a little supported down dog. So keep your hands on your chair. Walk your butt back to a nice V shape, and then give a second, make a little space for your shoulders. Let your head sink between your arms. Soften a little through your belly, and just take a couple nice deep breaths here. Sticking with this down dog shape, but we're going to release the right hand. So lift your right hand off the back of your chair. And can you reach your right hand across to the outer edge of your left thigh? So you're going to reach across the body, get a little twist. So rotate your torso, look under your left arm, take a nice big breath. And then we're going to leverage against that thigh. So think about pulling the right shoulder back and see if you can get your heart to go forward again. So rather than having that rotation looking under the armpit, anchor against that left thigh, pull the right shoulder back, reach through the left hand, let your chest drop down, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then release that right hand from the left thigh, bring it to the chair. And then we're taking it to the other side. So left hand is going to reach across that right thigh, let your torso rotate, look under your arm, take a nice big breath. Nice. And then pull back through that left shoulder so that your heart comes back to center, and then your gaze is down at the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Awesome. And then release that left hand back to the tall side of the chair. Take one more breath in that down dog. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, look forward, walk yourself up to the back of the chair. And then we're going to start to move with the block a little bit. So start by just transferring your weight. Tap one foot on the block and then over to the other side. Transfer your weight, tap your foot on the block. And we just want to get a sense of where is your body connected to that block. And then once you've got that rhythm down, can you do this without looking down at the block so you know where it is? And then can you take your hands away from the chair and tap the block? And if not, if you feel unstable, put your hands back on the chair. But if it feels available to be here, nice controlled, we just tap the top of the block and then set the foot down. Awesome. One more time each side. And then set both feet down evenly on the ground, hands on the chair. 3 heel lifts again. Inhale, lift your heels up away from the floor as controlled as you can. Exhale, float your heels back down. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, float them down. One more time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. And now we're going to step the left foot onto the block. Make sure that it's nice and even on the ground, toes and knees pointing forward. And then when you got that left foot onto the block, step yourself up and then try to bring your right foot in line with your left foot. So the left foot's on the block and then the right foot just lifts up to meet, but it's floating off of the block. And then bend your left knee, step that foot down, step off, and we'll take it to the other side. Right foot onto the block, push into the block, lift up, left foot comes up to meet, but the left foot is off the block. So it's just kind of hovering in space. And then when you're ready, bend your right knee, set it down, step off the block, left foot back on the block. Now see if you can do it without looking down at the block. You know where it is, lift off. And now check with your hips. So if it feels like the right hip is kind of hiked up to keep in strong position, can you even out your hips? Can you make sure that the foot is in line? And then we're going to sort of swing the foot forward and back. But once you've got that little bit of a swinging sensation, can you let your foot and your leg be soft and heavy? So the hips are going to stay in that even neutral position. And we're just going to let a little bit of the weight of the leg do your work for you. So it's not a huge swing, and just be mindful. You don't want to kick the chair, but let your leg, just kind of swing out from the hip socket. Take one more swing forward and back. And then when you're ready, bend your left knee, set that foot down, and we're going to switch to the other side. Right foot onto the block, step yourself up, find that even position, square up your hips. And then once you've got it, swing that left foot, let it be nice and heavy. Beautiful. One more swing of that foot. And then when you're ready, step that left foot down. We're going to come back to center. 3 heel lifts here. Inhale, lift your heels up away from the floor. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. And now feet solid on the ground. We're taking it into the shoulders. So you can release your hands if that feels like a better way to go. Inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Get a little squeeze. Exhale and just float your shoulders down nice and soft. Inhale, lift your shoulders and squeeze. Exhale, soften your shoulders down. Beautiful. One more just like that. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale to soften down, and then hands are going to find the chair. Left foot's going to step onto the block. Lift that foot up, find that even position so hips are squared and the feet are lined up. And now we're going to bend the standing leg. So the left leg, the leg that's standing on the block, you're going to bend that knee, let the right foot touch down to the ground, and then push back up to that even position. Bend your left knee, let the right foot touch down, and then push into the block, lift back up. Bend your left knee, right foot touches down, lift back up. Nice. And then step that right foot down, left foot off the block, right foot onto the block. And then we're going to take that to the other side. So straighten yourself up, find that even position. And then we're bending the right knee, left foot touches the ground. Straighten the right knee, lift the left leg up. Bend the right knee and lift back up. One more like that. Bend the knee, lift back up. Beautiful. And then left foot touches down, step that foot off. And now we're going to walk it back to a down dog again. So walk back to your V shape, stretch through the arms, reach back through your butt, make some space for your head between your arms. Take a nice big breath here. Keep your left hand on the chair. Right hand's going to reach across for that left thigh. Pull against the thigh, pull the right shoulder back so your heart is facing down towards the floor. Sink a little bit deeper through your heart. Take one good breath. Awesome. And then release, right hand to the chair. Left hand's going to reach across to that right thigh. Pull that left shoulder back so heart is squared up, facing down to the ground. Let your heart melt down. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. Release that hand, soften your knees, look forward, walk yourself up to the tall side of the chair. Now we're going to step the left foot onto the block, lift the right leg up, and now we're going to take our hip dip. So keeping the left leg as straight as you can, you're going to reach your right foot down towards the ground. The hip is what's going to move, and then you're going to pull it up and hike that hip up nice and high. Reach your foot down towards the ground. Hip is the thing that's moving. The left leg stays as straight as it can. Pull that hip in, and you might even feel a little squeeze in the side body. Drop the heel down, hip dips, pull it up, squeeze a little in the side body, and then find your neutral position, bend your left knee, step off the block, take it to the other side. Right foot on the block, lift yourself up. First, find that neutral position, and then we hip dip. So keep the right leg straight, drop your heel down, the hip drops down, and then lift the hip up and squeeze up through the side body. Drop the hip down, lift up and squeeze. Drop the hip down, lift up and squeeze. Beautiful. Soften that right knee, step that foot down, walk it back to your down dog. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Soften your knees, lift your gaze, walk yourself up, step the left foot onto the block. Come up to that nice tall position. And now we're going to push the heel forward. So we're going to bend the standing leg. The heel is going to push forward and you're going to touch that heel down to the ground, pick it back up and bring it back to that neutral position. Bend your standing leg, push the heel forward, bring it back, find that neutral position. One more just like that. Bend your knee, bring the heel forward, bring it back to neutral, set that foot down, switch to the other side. Right foot on the block, find your neutral. Bend your standing leg, heel comes forward, bring it back up with control. Bend your standing leg, heel comes forward, bring it back up with control. Beautiful. One more time. Bend your knee, heel comes forward, bring it back with control. Step that foot down, both feet off the block, 3 heel lifts here. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. One more time. Beautiful. And now we're going to get a little pendulum swing across the body. So if there's not quite enough room, if you're like super close to the back of your chair, just scoot yourself and your block back a little bit so that your leg will have a little space to kind of swing in front of you. And then once you feel like you've got a good proper amount of space, step your left foot onto the block, right foot's going to lift up. And then we're going to find that little bit of a swing across the midline of the body or across the front. And then just take a couple of test drives here. And then if it feels like you need to reposition, take a second to reposition. Beautiful. Now the next time the leg reaches out to the side, hold it there. Find a little bit of strength. Strengthen the side of the thigh. Maybe you'll feel that strength in the side of your glute. Stay nice and tall. And then if you can, lift one hand away from the chair. Standing on the block is going to extra challenge your balance. So can you hold that leg nice and steady out there? And can you lift your other hand away as well? Take one good breath. And then when you're ready, hands find the chair, float that foot down, step off, take a second, bounce everything out. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So right foot's going to step onto the block, and then we're going to get that little pendulum swing. So we're going to swing across the front of the body. Nice. And then the next time the leg swings out, hold it out nice and strong, strong through the outer edges of the thigh, strong through the side of the glutes. Get a little taller here. And then see if you can lift one hand away from the chair. Maybe you can lift the other hand away from the chair. And then when you feel ready, hands back to the chair, soften that leg, woo, step it down, give your knees a little bounce, give your butt a little wiggle. And then we're going to bend down, pick up the block and place it between the inner thighs. So we're going to place our block on the skinny setting between the inner thighs, toes and knees pointing forward, lift up nice and tall through the top of your head. 3 heel lifts here with the block between the thighs. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, float your heels down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, float down. One more time here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Keep the block between your thighs. We're going to take it into a light little chair pose. So think butt back, bend your knees. Keep your heart lifted, gaze forward. Push into your feet and lift up. Beautiful. Butt back, bend your knees. Press into your feet and lift up. Last one we're going to hold. So butt back, bend your knees. Find a nice depth of seat where you feel a good amount of work coming into your quadriceps or in the tops of your thighs. And then once you feel like you found a little bit of work, think about pulling your ribs in towards each other so belly is nice and firm. And then if it feels available, lift your hands away from the chair, strong in your legs, strong in your center, gaze forward. Awesome. Take one more breath. Hands on the chair, press into your feet, lift up, keep that block between your thighs. Shift your weight onto your left foot. We're going to bend the right knee. And now from here, we're going to swing the right foot out. I'm going to turn my back to you just so you can see what I'm saying. So we're going to bend that knee, keep the knee in line with the heel, but swing the heel out and then bring it back in with control. Swing the heel out, bring it back in with control. Do that one more time. Swing the heel out. Bring it back in with control. Set your right foot down. Keep that block between your thighs. Readjust your feet as needed. We're going to bend the left knee. Swing the heel out and bring it back in. Swing the heel out and bring it back in. One more time. Swing the heel out and bring it back in. Nice. Set that foot down. Release that block from your inner thighs. Give everything a little wiggle, a little shake. Place that block on the short side of your chair. And now we're going to walk back like we're taking a down dog. So we're going to find that reach first through the arms, but then we're going to step our feet out super wide. So just as wide as you can get your legs to safely go. And it feels like a good, comfortable position. And then once you've got your legs worked out, sink your chest down. Find some space for your head to relax between your arms. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, look forward, lift up from your belly to come up, and then step your feet in. We're going to walk up to the tall side of the chair and turn sideways. So once you're turned sideways on the chair, the outer leg is going to crisscross. And then once you found your way here, that outer arm is going to reach up, and we're going to take a side bend, leaning in towards the back of the chair. Take one more breath. Awesome. Lift up with control. Keep your legs crisscrossed. And now we're going to slide the hand down the thigh, maybe past the knee, maybe past the shin, maybe towards the ankles, maybe towards the toes. So you're just going to go to a depth that feels good. You get a good stretch. You feel sensation, but no zinging, no hurting. Beautiful. When you're ready, come up nice and slow. And then if you're fancy like me, you're going to just spin around to the other side. Otherwise, just spin yourself around. And then from here, that outer leg is going to crisscross. Once you found that crisscross of your legs, outer arm is going to reach up and then lean in towards the back of the chair. Awesome. When you're ready, lift up with control. Hand finds the thigh. And now we slide down the thigh, maybe go past the knee, maybe to the shins, maybe past the shins towards the ankle. Just go as far as feels good. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, come up nice and slow. Uncross your legs, give everything a little bounce. And then before we come down to our seat, we're going to take a little warrior 3 balance. So we're going to walk back just a ways so our fingers are on the chair. And then from here, you're going to slide your right leg back, but start by keeping the toe on the ground and then notice that right hip right away. So if that right hip just started to lift up to follow you, square up the hip and then pick that toe up. Keep your hips as squared as you can. Hands are going to stay on that chair. So you're going to just lean your chest forward. You might feel a little tug in the back of your left leg or your standing leg. But now see if you can just lift the sole of that left foot up so that your foot is nice and engaged, nice and strong. And then think about pushing through your right heel and reaching through the crown of your head. Take one good breath. Beautiful. Soften your standing leg, float that foot down. Take a second, bounce some things out that you might have come across. And then we're going to do that to the other side. So put your weight onto your right foot, slide your left toe back. If that left hip hiked up, square up the hips, make your belly nice and firm. And then once you've got it, float that foot up, lean your chest forward, lift from the sole of your right foot, push out through your left heel, reach out through the crown of your head. Beautiful. When you're ready, soften it all down. Take a second, bounce out your knees, wiggle out your hips, and then we're going to take it into a seated position. So swing your chair around, and then we will use our block before we finish our practice. So hold on to your block, sit your butt down, but scooch it forward so that you're towards the front end of your chair. And then in that skinny setting, place that block right between your knees, and we're just going to come right back to it. So we're going to pick up the left heel, swing it out, hold it for a second. So we want to feel that nice little work happening out of the gluteus medius and minimus. So out of those side glutes, if it helps, place your hand there and then swing the foot back in. And then do it again. Push the heel out, hold it for a second, find that work, and then bring it back in. Awesome. One more time here. Swing the heel out, hold it for a second. Beautiful. Bring it back in. And now we're going to switch sides. So if you like that handhold to find that work, place your hand on the side of your butt and then swing the heel out, hold it for a second. Nice. Set it back down. Do that again. Pick the heel up, swing it out, hold it for a second, and then set it down. Awesome. One more time. Pick the heel up, swing it out, and then release it down. Woo, nice work. Okay, release your block, give your knees a little swish, give them a little windshield wiper, just kind of let all that go. That's a lot of work. All right, so step your butt back just a little bit so you feel good and solid on your chair. Find your seated mountain pose. Anchor into your feet, lift up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes down just for a moment. Notice your legs, notice your feet, notice the chair connected to you. And then when you feel ready, open your eyes. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, lift your chest, dive down towards your feet. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up through your spine, roll your shoulders up to your ears, roll them around, down and back. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up through the spine, roll the shoulders up to the ears, around, down and back, and then slide your hands forward, catch hold of your knees, move right into cat-cow breath. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale and round your back. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Beautiful. One more time here. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Nice. And then find a nice neutral spine. Left hand's going to reach across to that right knee. Knee is going to push out. So we're going to create a little leverage, and then you're going to pull that shoulder back again. So we want to see if we can get our heart lined up facing forward. And you might feel that little tug against the shoulder, leveraging against that knee. Keep your knee nice and solid so you can see if you can find that. And then once you've got that, turn your head, look over your shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release your head to center, release that hand, and we're going to switch over to the other side. So hand's going to reach across the outside of the knee, and then you're going to push into the knee so that you create that little resistance. Draw the shoulder back, try to line your heart up to center. And then once you feel like you've got that, look over your shoulder. When you're ready, release your head back to center, release that arm, give your shoulders a little shrug. Then we're going to take it into some eagle arms to kind of finish our work up in the shoulders. So if you like, left hand under the right, you might choose to just give yourself a hug. That might be enough. If it feels good to wrap the hands all the way around with the palms meeting, pause there for a second. Elbows in line with the shoulders, thumbs pushing slightly away from the face. And then once you've got that space for yourself, inhale, lift your fingertips, let your ribs lift a little bit. Exhale, pull the abdominal muscles in, pull the elbows down, round through the back of your body. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. And do that one more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Come to a neutral position, unwind your arms, open your arms nice and wide. Can you reach to the back of the chair? Take a gentle back bend. Lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chin. And then we're going to take those eagle arms the other way. So let your hands go. Right hand under the left. Either give yourself a hug or wrap your hands around. Find whatever position works best for your shoulders. And then if you're in that more eagle wrapped up position, elbows in line with the shoulders, thumbs slightly away from the face if you can find it. And then once you're there, inhale, lift the fingertips or lift the elbows. Exhale, pull the abdominal muscles in, round through the back of your body. Beautiful. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and round. One more time here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Come back to neutral. Open your arms nice and wide. Find the back of the chair. Get your handhold, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chin. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release your hands, reach them up and overhead. We're going to step the left foot forward, flex the foot, take a nice big breath, think belly up and over. And then as you exhale, reach toward your foot. If you need to create a little bend in the knee so it feels comfortable, bend the knee, reach toward your foot. Take one nice big breath in, slow breath out. Soften that knee, pull the abdominal muscles in, slide your way back into a nice neutral mountain pose position. And then once you're there, inhale, reach both arms up, step your other foot forward, flex the foot, lift up and over, reach towards that foot just as far as feels right to you. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slide it all back up and in, find your mountain pose again. Nice. And then we're just going to take a couple little gentle reaches just to create a little bit of strength through the side body. So like you're reaching to pick something down off the ground, but stay in control the whole way. So almost imagine that you're kind of brightening up the side of your body. So keep an upward lifting position as if you're trying to pull the ribs away from the floor, even though you're trying to reach down towards the floor. Beautiful. One more reach each side or even yourself out. And then as you come back up, we're going to take it right into a seated twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee, rotate towards the side, and then wherever your hand falls in your chair is just whatever is most comfortable. So take a moment to find your handhold. And then once you're there, take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. 2 more cycles of breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release, take your twist over to the other side. Get your handhold first, and then think about getting tall with your inhale and softening with your exhale. Beautiful. When you're ready, unwind, come back to center, and then just a little seated ragdoll before we make our way to our seated Shavasana. So step your feet forward, nice bit of space between your legs, super generous, bend in the knees, belly think up and over. So we're going to lift through the heart, slide your hands down your shins, maybe toward your toes or wherever your hands fall the most comfortably. And then let your belly and your chest just kind of rest against your thighs. And then once you've got that nice folded position, see if you can soften through the back of your neck, let your head go. Take one more breath. And then when you feel ready, slowly and mindfully walk yourself back up and in. Take your time as you come up. Start to step your feet in, and then we're just going to scooch the butt way back in the chair. Find the back of your chair. Let your back kind of snuggle in. Let your butt kind of snuggle in. And then just give a second to let your body work out all the little wiggles so that maybe you can close your eyes down or just soften your gaze. And then once you feel like you found like a fairly comfortable position, we're just going to wiggle out the toes and wiggle out the fingers one last time. So give everything just a little mush around, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your ankles, move your wrists, and then release all of that. Let your feet soften, let your hands soften, and let them come to a bit of stillness. And then see if you can let the muscles in your legs get soft and heavy. And then see if you can let your belly and your back get soft and heavy. And then notice if you're holding any tension around your abdomen, let it go. Let your belly be nice and soft. Soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Soften your eyes and the space between your eyes. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Start to gently wiggle the fingers and wiggle your toes. Maybe move your ankles or move your wrists. And maybe draw a deeper breath into your body as you start to reawaken. And then if it feels good, take it into a big good morning stretch. Stretch your feet out, reach your arms up, stretch through the fingers, stretch through your toes, feel a little lift through the back of the body. And then when you're ready, release all of that. Lift your back away from the back of the chair, scoot your butt forward. And then with that position here, pause just for a moment, eyes closed down, notice your feet connected to the floor. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. You're going to reach your hands and grab underneath the left leg, make a little basket weave. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. Pick that knee up to the chest, give it a light little squeeze, maybe draw a couple of circles in one direction. Draw a couple of circles the other way. Beautiful. And then set that foot down. We're going to switch right over to the other side, keeping your eyes closed if you can. So reach underneath the thigh, make a little basket weave, pick that thigh up towards the chest, give it a light little squeeze, and then draw that knee in circles. Go in one direction. And then draw that knee in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then set that foot down, eyes open. We're going to take it into a little bit of a folded position, and then we'll lift our butt away from the chair. So reach down towards the ground, let your hands find the ground. And then once you're there, bring your weight forward into your feet, lift your butt up away from your chair. And then you're going to take a couple little bends and straightens of your legs. So your butt's going to come towards the seat and then lift up towards the sky. Beautiful. And then the next time your butt lifts up, hang out here in this nice folded position. Think about letting your torso, your shoulders, your upper back get nice and heavy. Gaze should be towards the back of the chair. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Strong from your navel center. Roll your weight all the way up to a standing position. Roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down, and back. Beautiful work today. Nice job. Oh, I bow to you.